These are 10 of The Simpsons' most annoying character plot lines. Apu lies to his mother and tells her that he's married to Marge in order to avoid his arranged marriage. The 2 Mrs. Nahasapima Petalon starts with Apu getting a letter from his mother saying it's time for his arranged marriage.
I'm not get married, I'm just beginning to enjoy my bachelorhood.
Bachelorhood at what age, Apu? I think it might be time for that marriage. Apu asks Homer what he should do, and Homer tells him to just tell the truth to his mother. He's not ready for marriage. But Apu tells him his mother won't take no for an answer.
Then just tell her you're already married.
No, I cannot lie to my mother.
Homer gets annoyed and tells Apu to get married then. Apu takes Homer's advice, and he tells his mom that he's already married and quickly hangs up the phone. He thinks he's off the hook, but a couple of days later, his mom shows up.
The wife that I told her I had. I do not have a wife.
Then maybe you shouldn't have told her you did.
And whose bright idea was that? Homer tells him he can move into his house and tell his mom that Marge is his wife.
Is it me or do your plans always involve some horrible web of lies?
It's you.
I wouldn't be so sure about that. Homer goes home and tells Marge about this stupid plan of his.
Please! It's just for as long as his mother's living here.
What?
The fact that Marge went along with it really seems out of character for her. She's not the one to be into this kind of elaborate scheming.
Apu was willing to disgrace his family and spit on his culture.
Here I am.
The things she does for Homer. Then another 2 lies walk into the room.
Well, this is your father, Apu's mother. Oh.
The tension could be cut with a knife. The next day, Bart and Lisa are talking with Apu's mom.
Can I ask you about your dot?
What would you like to know?
What's the deal with that dot?
The thing that annoys me so much about this episode is the fact that they made it out like Lisa didn't know what the red dot means. She absolutely knows that fact, and yet the writers made it seem like she had no idea.
Surely you children are aware of your Brahman heritage.
As long as you have absolutely no follow-up questions, yes.
That night, Homer and Marge were laying in bed talking when Apu's mother walked in and saw them.
Oh my God. Marge, how could you?
Oh, Apu, give it up.
The jig is up. Apu tells his mom that he only lied because he didn't want to go through with the arranged marriage.
I had no idea how strongly you felt, Apu. Now wipe that smile off your face. We have a wedding to plan.
Guess there's no getting out of this one. Marge is helping Apu's mom plan the wedding, and she tells her she's still missing.
An elephant and 4 castrati.
What's a castrati?
I don't know, but I'm sure it's spicy.
Another ill-timed, out-of-character joke by Marge. This is more of Homer's thing. On the day of the wedding, Apu was talking with Homer, and he told him that their tradition forbids him to even speak with the woman he's marrying.
Has the whole world gone crazy?
Nah, just your screwy country.
Now that's what I'm talking about. But the moment Apu saw Manjula, his mind started to change. He tells her that he hasn't really been looking forward to this arranged marriage.
Nor have I. Marrying a complete stranger? It is crazy.
Well, it's good they're on the same page. Apu asks Manjula if she thinks this arranged marriage could work, and she says,
Who knows? We can always get divorced.
Of course. God bless America.
why didn't he think of that before? Now be prepared, because the least tolerant man in town is about to change his whole image. Smithers and Moe open a gay bar, and Moe leads his customers to believe that he's gay. Flaming Moe starts with Smithers finding out that Mr. Burns didn't put him in his will because he didn't respect him enough. So Smithers thought that if he had his own business, he would gain Mr. Burns' respect. He wanted to go to a gay bar, but they didn't allow him in because he wasn't young and sexy, so he just went to Moe's.
I'm surprised you're not across the street, where they drink for fun, instead of here, where,
Smithers explains to Moe that they didn't let him in, and he said,
If only this town had a men's bar for the average-looking fella.
and then it hit him. Smithers offers Moe to open a gay bar, and he tells him it would earn him a lot of money. After some thinking, Moe agreed. At first, he was a little uncomfortable with all the gay men around him, and then his regulars noticed it was different.
Something's changed. There's a sense of acceptance in the air.
That is the biggest difference, honestly. Moe tells his friends that he has tried other types of bars and none of them succeeded.
And in this economy, a man needs to find new customers. Hey, there's nothing against it in the Bible.
Hey, if the Pope says it's okay, then it must be okay, right? One night, Homer brought Marge to Moe's, and a group of trans women walked up to Marge and told her,
"Oh, honey, no one's gonna believe that wig is real."
What do you mean wig?
well, that's a tad insulting, but the problem here isn't so much their comments to Marge, but the fact that the writers made it look like cross-dressing, homosexuality, and being transgender were all the same. Marge notices that the men are flirting with Moe, and she asks them if they think he's one of them. Moe realizes that he should maybe clear the air, but when he sees the looks on their faces, He thinks to himself that they might go somewhere else, and he doesn't do it. Smithers then noticed that Mo was flirting with the customers, and he took him aside.
Hey, it's the bartender's job to agree with the customer.
But it's not the bartender's job to flirt. The next night, some of Mo's customers were complaining about how the city won't let them march in the Springfield Founders Parade, and Mo said they should just have their own parade.
We have like 20 of them.
But we're sick of being second-class citizens.
One of the guys says that things won't change until one of them is on the town council, and someone suggests Mo.
Will you become Springfield's first openly gay city councilman?
The most hate-filled man is about to put himself out there as a gay councilman. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Mo agrees to this, and Smithers takes him back to talk to him.
You can't be these people's leader if you're lying to them about who you are. You're not gay.
He keeps telling him that, but what if he is? Mo says he'll let them down easy in 4 years. Mo goes to run for council, and during his speech, Smithers comes up and says,
How can you be their leader when you're not one of them?
For lack of a better phrase, he outed him. The community was shocked, and Mo had to confess.
Oh, this is the most embarrassing thing I've ever had to say, but I ain't gay.
I don't think that is the most embarrassing thing he's ever said, but it sure is up there. Mo said that at first he was only gay for their money, but then he felt accepted by them in a way he'd never been before.
I just wish you people could know what it's like to want acceptance.
Mo, I think they do. But he said one smart thing. Mo asks the public who they're going to vote for.
Me or a Republican whose record is so anti-gay, he's clearly secretly super gay.
He has a point. Ultimately, they just didn't vote. But there's another person whose sexuality is about to be questioned. The family finds Grandpa's old stuff and they start believing that he is gay. Gorgeous Grandpa starts when Homer buys an old storage unit, and as it turns out, the stuff in there belonged to Grandpa.
They're boas.
Mine's full of hand mirrors. I've got perfume spritzers.
That's oddly feminine for an old man.
I think your dad might be gay.
Homer shrugs it off, saying his dad was married to a woman who left him because he ignored her needs for decades. And what does that sound like to you?
Oh, my gay dad is gay for gays.
Why does that not surprise me? Marge says she thinks this is great because old gay men are so adorable, which is an odd thing to say, and I don't really like what they did to Marge there. Homer says that his dad has been so angry all these years, and maybe if they help him be who he is, he'll finally be happy. The next day, the family goes to visit Grandpa, and maybe they went a bit overboard.
Are you sure you're not just doing all this because it's cool to be accepting of a gay family member?
Bart's onto something here. Marge tells him that that is not the case, of course.
Always bragging about her transgender cousin.
I'm not sure I'm liking this character development in Marge. They tell Grandpa they found his storage locker and that they love him, but Abe just throws them out.
Hi, Marge. I was just taking Stan Lorena to get her hormone shots.
Oh,
I think this is just Patty's wedding all over again. Marge is determined to find love for Grandpa, so she signs him up on a dating website. And as they're waiting to see if he's gonna meet his new boyfriend, but Abe isn't the one for meeting new people.
admit who you are. A wonderful gay man.
I don't ride side saddle.
They ask Grandpa to explain the wigs and all the girly stuff, and at that moment, Mr. Burns walks by and says,
You're Glamorous Godfrey.
Who?
Glamorous Godfrey was the most famous wrestler in the world.
Oh. Grandpa confesses to being a world-famous wrestler back in the 50s.
I so wanted him to be gay.
On VE Day, I kissed a man by mistake.
What's wrong with straight Grandpa? Grandpa says that his motto was always to cheat and...
The thing that really drove them crazy was my vanity.
That seems like something Bart would say. Bart says that Grandpa was the original bad boy, and Abe says that there was a downside to being hated. He said he couldn't take it and that being despised was no way to live. Then Mr. Burns said,
The world may have despised Glamorous Godfrey, but that conceited mother puncher was my hero.
How old is Grandpa? Mr. Burns asks Grandpa to lunch so they can exchange stories, but Grandpa is hesitant. Then Bart said that he'd also like to hear some stories. Abe agreed, and that might have been the worst decision he made. Mr. Burns convinced him to go back to wrestling and being the bad guy. The family goes to see Grandpa fight, and Bart is cheering him on like a #1 fan.
Why do you think bad guys are so cool? Why do you used to have a thing for Nelson?
Ooh, good comeback. Marge says that it's sad that Grandpa has to cheat instead of relying on his wrestling skills.
What kind of person revels in disapproval?
What kind of person indeed?
Oh no. The next day, Bart does one of Grandpa's bits at his baseball game and he also cheats, so he's met with hate, and he enjoyed it.
Tell me you're not trying to be like Grandpa.
Well, sure I am.
Bart says that he always thought Grandpa was lame, but he's really awesome now. Sure, he's awesome now, but you didn't think that a couple of days ago. Homer goes to talk to Abe about his bad influence on Bart.
We could use another winner in this family.
How are you a winner? You're cheating in a fake sport.
Wow, Homer has a point. This gives Mr. Burns an idea. He says that Grandpa should wrestle with Bart and that they'd make a great team. Homer tries to stop this, but he can't. As they were about to go into the ring, Grandpa saw Bart being mean to one of his fans and said,
Leave some of that bad attitude for the ring.
The world is my ring now.
"You better watch out, world." Grandpa stepped into the ring and took the microphone and said that glamorous Godfrey is dead.
Without someone to hate, there's no excitement, no thrill.
I don't care. My grandson's soul is at stake.
Oh, it's been at stake so many times.
Oh, they only want to see a good guy fight a bad guy, eh?
Grandpa and Bart fight Mr. Burns, and the crowd cheers them on.
This is what I've been missing my whole life.
You may think this new Marge isn't that bad, but the one thing everyone has an opinion on is Apu and his stereotype. Apu's nephew rebrands the Quickie Mart, and Apu can't stand to see it slip away. Much Apu about something starts with one of Bart's pranks resulting in the Quickie Mart being destroyed, but thankfully no one got hurt, except for Apu and his brother. Homer tells Bart he won't turn him into the police if he vows never to pull a prank again, and he does. Marge and Homer visit Apu in the hospital, and his brother says,
I no longer want the customers to come again. I want to work somewhere else.
"The ultimate betrayal." He says that he will send his son to work with Apu instead.
I have given my share of the store to my son Jamshed. He will rebuild while you recuperate.
When Apu got out of the hospital, he was met with a shocking surprise.
Weekend fresh. Who spells quick with a Q?
Well, it is the correct way. Jamshed, or Jay as he likes to be called now, says,
I just bitch slapped your Quickie Mart into the 21st century.
An upgrade?
Apu doesn't agree with what Jamshed did to the store, and he tells him that this is his store. Well, his and Sanjay's.
Don't forget, my dad owned more of this place than you did.
Well, yes, your father. And you were just starting out. Jamshed says they own 80% of Quick and Fresh, so Apu can put his concerns aside. Homer and Marge took Apu and Manjula out to dinner to cheer up Apu, but Jamshed was also at the restaurant. Apu approached him and asked him if he was embarrassed of him, and Jamshed says yes.
You're a stereotype, man. Take a penny, leave a penny. I'm Indian. I do yoga.
He even goes as far as telling Apu to go back to the Temple of Doom. So it's a problem that Apu wants to stay true to his roots? Okay.
This stereotype will no longer be a troublesome potato in your chicken vindaloo.
Then Luigi came out and brought on even more stereotypes.
Stereotype? Who's a stereotyper? That's a spicy accusation.
You pipe it down.
This is leaving a bad taste in my mouth. Jamshed went so far as to try and make Apu speak with an American accent, and when he didn't, Jamshed said,
I love you, man, but you're fired. Forever.
It's one thing to have different opinions on how a store should be run, but it's another to fire your uncle over it. Homer and his friends want to help Apu get his store back, and they suggest that Bart should pull one of his pranks on Jamshed. Homer doesn't like this idea because he sees that Bart has changed since he stopped pulling pranks, but his friends convince him that Apu needs this, so he gives in. Bart thinks of a prank that will serve Jamshed right. He decides to cut the power in the store for a few seconds only, enough for the food to go bad. Jamshed tries to tell customers that the store is the cleanest place in town.
Another failed millennial. Who is a cliche now?
Both of you, but who am I to judge? Bart turned the power back on, but a spark burned the whole store to the ground.
I am sorry, nephew. I was jealous, and karma has exacted a terrible price.
It didn't seem like you had a problem with karma when you agreed to make a little boy do your dirty work. Apu saw a ticket on the floor and decided to scratch it.
It is a winner, and it is so much money.
Apu got his store back the way it was, and to thank Homer, he gave him unlimited free squishies.
How much is that going to cost you?
About $3.
We can fight over problems around Apu all day long, but one thing I think we are all on the same page about is when Homer makes Marge take the blame for drinking and driving, which leads her to check herself into a rehab clinic. Codependence Day starts with Homer and Marge going to a wine tasting, and Homer is wondering if they should be drinking together.
I mean, who am I going to complain about when I'm drinking?
We should do more together.
Who can say no to that face? After a few drinks, they get chummy and a bit creepy, if you ask me.
Pleasant aroma, rich, full body. well-aged, and the wine's not bad either.
Homer the flirt. The kids went to complain about a movie to the director, and when they came back for their parents, they had an unpleasant view to see.
I drank this much.
Bart says that Marge is not gonna like this, but then...
Don't tell Mama what Mama don't like.
And who's gonna be driving? Homer and Marge grow closer together with each drink they take, and Bart and Lisa have never seen them this happy. Homer starts imitating Marge's way of talking, and she does the same to him.
Well, you talk like, oh, Marge, sorry I set the bed on fire. Don't.
See, it's cute, but also kind of uncanny. Homer invites Marge to join him at Moe's, and she agrees to come. They spend the next few days having fun and going out together, but eventually it caught up with them. Well, mostly with Marge.
Have to make such an unholy racket.
Sorry, Marge, I gotta break in my ski boots sometime.
Maybe not on the day of your wife's unholy hangover. Marge says that they should stop drinking for a while, and Homer says,
No problem. We can still have fun without you drinking.
that's not very supportive. That night they went out again, and Marge was worried about having fun while everyone else was drinking.
Don't worry, honey. I don't even know if they serve alcohol at this thing.
Oktoberfest? No booze at all. Marge sees everyone drinking, and she says she'll only have one beer.
Isn't that a little big?
I think it's quite average in size. Of course, Marge got drunk, and so did Homer, and now they have to go back home. Homer puts Marge in her seat, and he tries to start the car.
I'm in no condition to drive. I shouldn't listen to myself. I'm drunk.
Great point, buddy. Homer drives off the road and their car turns over. He hears the police coming and he realizes if they find him, he'll lose his license. He unbuckles Marge and puts her in the driver's seat so she would take the blame.
This is a new low for me.
The lowest of lows, if you ask me. Personally, this is the worst thing he's done, and that's why it's on this list. Homer pays Marge's bail, and she tells him she can't believe she drove drunk. She decides to go to rehab to cure her newfound alcoholism.
At Oktoberfest, all I could think about was beer. I couldn't even celebrate the harvest.
Don't feel bad, Marge. Nobody goes to Oktoberfest to celebrate the harvest. The kids start getting suspicious about Marge's accident, and Homer can't take the pressure, so he decides to tell her everything and come clean. Meanwhile, Marge isn't sure that rehab is working.
The drinkers are smoking, the smokers are drinking.
Homer comes to tell Marge, and he tells her everything.
That I'd done such a terrible thing?
Marge, I did it out of love. Love of not being arrested.
So you let your wife be arrested. Much better. Marge barges into one of the patient rooms and says she needs a drink.
And you should thank God you're in a rehab center, 'cause we're packing.
Somebody should call an inspection of this place. After a few glasses, Marge says that she feels the buzz, but she doesn't feel happier.
Maybe it wasn't the alcohol you liked.
At that moment, Marge realized that she wasn't hooked on drinking, but on spending time with Homer.
My name is Marge S., and I'm a Homeraholic.
And look how quickly she forgot what he put her through. Maybe she should give that rehab center another try. Marge goes to the front desk where she finds Homer, and she tells the guy working there that they're leaving.
I really don't think you two should leave. He's a chronic alcoholic, and you're in complete denial.
See, Marge, maybe you should get some help. Marge asks Homer to promise her he'll cut down on drinking, and he does.
All right, for you, I will give up all clear liquors.
Now that's true love. Over the years, Homer has really shown how much he loves Marge. So much that he let a strange man stay in their house for almost a year. Marge invites Gil to stay at their house for Christmas, but he extends that stay by a long shot. Kill Gil, Volume 1 and 2 starts with Marge taking the kids to the mall and getting their Christmas wishes with Santa. Lisa came up to Santa and asked for the new Malibu Stacy doll, but it was sold out everywhere. Santa told Lisa that he thought he saw an extra sitting in the stock room, so he brings it over, and Marge bought it for her.
You really made my daughter's Christmas.
Well, her smile made mine.
Spreading the holiday cheer, how nice. But then the guy's boss comes and asks if he's the one who took the extra Malibu Stacy doll.
It was for my daughter! You nitwit!
Way to make a scene in front of the customers. The boss said that he must get that doll back, and Gil, the Santa, said he can't do it to a little girl on Christmas Eve.
Well then, you're fired!
Maybe he should have rethought that taking the doll away part. Marge felt bad because he got fired, so she invited him over for dinner. But the dinner invitation was extended to an overnight invitation because it was cold outside and late. The next morning, when the family woke up to open their presents, they had a big present waiting for them in the living room. They asked Gil about the mess.
Well, I figured since you invited me to stay, I might as well go down to the bus locker and get my stuff.
How big is that locker? Homer starts nagging Marge about letting Gil stay, and why she even did it in the first place.
I'll tell you why. Christian charity.
And look where that got you. Marge promises Homer that she'll get Gil to leave after Christmas. But when she heard that he had no place to stay, she said he could stay with them until the holidays were over. Days passed, and so did the holidays. Many holidays. On Martin Luther King Day, Homer told Marge that Gil has got to go.
Admit it, you just can't say no to anyone. That's why you have 3 kids.
She really is a pushover. Homer realizes that he can't be the one to kick Gil out, because then Marge will never learn to assert herself, so he has to wait for her to show some backbone. Days passed again, and it was Valentine's Day. Homer and Marge were about to snuggle when...
It's Valentine's Day. What you getting the missus?
A heart-shaped box of chocolates.
If Marge doesn't kick him out, he's gonna end up dead on that sofa. And there will be only one person to blame. So we come to November, and Gil is still living with the Simpsons, and Marge has lost her mind completely.
I just found my gumption. Marge Simpson is gonna say no.
Finally! But when she went outside, Gil was gone. He had moved back to Scottsdale.
But I have a no inside me that has to come out.
Well, use it on something else then. Marge says she needs this or she'll never be able to say no. So she decides to go to Scottsdale and kick Gil out, even though he doesn't live with them anymore. Turns out Gil's a big shot in real estate, and when Marge came to talk to him, he offered her houses, completely ignoring what she had to say.
The only house I'm interested in is my own, which you defiled for 11 hellish months.
Marge tells Gil that now she's learned to say no. Oh, she's on a roll. Gil's subordinate saw that he was just a pathetic loser, just like them.
I put you in charge of this office because I thought you could tame this town. You're fired!
Wow, Marge. You made a guy lose his job twice. So the family spent another Christmas with Gil, but this time in his house. They really did a number on all of the characters in this episode. I refuse to believe that Marge is that spineless. But making Lisa a bully? Nah, I can't see that happening. Mr. Burns kicks Homer off the softball team, which makes Lisa act out. Homer at the bat starts with Homer signing up for the plant's softball team, and he makes his friends also sign up. He says that this year he has a secret weapon. Homer shows Bart his homemade bat he made last year when a tree was struck by lightning. His friends didn't believe him until he actually hit every ball that was thrown at him.
Homer, can I get you a beer?
No, I want to get him a beer.
I never thought I'd see the day when Lisa was so proud of her dad she'd offer him a beer. Homer's team had won every game so far, and now they were up against Shelbyville. Mr. Burns struck a bet with Shelbyville's captain.
Would you care to bet $1 million on that?
That Mr. Burns sure is rich. Mr. Burns decides to cheat and bring in professional baseball players into this.
Scour the professional ranks, the American League, the National League, the Negro League.
Smithers gathers the best players of all time to be a part of Mr. Burns' team, but in order for them to be able to participate, they'd have to be the plant's employees. So he gives all of them a job at the plant. But then Homer and his friends realize that with professionals on the team, Mr. Burns won't need them. Homer meets Darryl Strawberry, and he says he plays right field.
I play right field too.
So?
Well, are you better than me?
Yes.
It's kind of a given. But Homer has his magic bat. Homer says that this whole thing isn't fair because they've worked hard to get to the championship game, and now they'll be sitting on the bench. Marge tells him he can't think this Darryl guy is better than him.
He's bigger than me, faster than me, stronger than me, and he already has more friends around the plant than I do.
How does that last part matter? Mr. Burns starts coaching them, and he tells them that from now on, they'll be drinking a brain and nerve tonic.
It promotes robust health. Of course, it has been known to cause gigantism, but only in rare cases.
Why do I get the feeling that this is a lie? Mr. Burns even paid a hypnotist to work with his players.
You are all very good players.
We are all very good players.
He's really giving it all for that $1 million. One of the players, Scotia, actually started working at the plant because he loved how there's zero pressure.
Uh-oh.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, man. Is this ever sweet?
I think there should be some pressure there. The night before the game, Mr. Burns put up a list of everyone who will be playing tomorrow, and Homer wasn't on that list. Mr. Burns is certain that he'll win the bet.
Unless, of course, my 9 All-Stars fall victim to 9 separate misfortunes.
I wouldn't bet that $1 million on it. That night, Steve Sachs was arrested by Chief Wiggum, Mike Scotia was hospitalized due to severe radiation poisoning, and Ken Griffey Jr. overdosed on nerve tonic and got gigantism. So that's 3 so far. Then Canseco was stuck helping Helen Lovejoy because her house is burning down. Barney punched one of the players in a bar fight, and one of them went to see Springfield's mystery spot, and he never came back. Mr. Burns started to lose his mind when he saw his players weren't able to play. He was then forced to put his old team back on the field.
Not so fast, Simpson. The man who plays your position is still here.
Oh, so close. Lisa saw that her dad was feeling down, so she started booing Strawberry.
You stink, Strawberry! We want home run Homer!
I love to see Lisa supporting her father, but this is so out of character for her.
Children, that's not very nice.
Mom, they're professional athletes. They're used to this.
I don't think he's that used to it. Just as they were about to win the game, Mr. Burns thought it'd be good to switch out Strawberry with Homer. And just as Homer was supposed to hit the ball, Mr. Burns distracted him with some signals, and the ball hit his head.
Dad just won the game.
Oh, well, I guess he'll be happy when he comes to.
Making Lisa a bully wasn't the only time the writers played with the characters. Marge deceives people into thinking she's a drag queen in order to sell more Tupperware. Working Mom starts with Marge telling Homer that she's gonna be a Tupperware salesperson.
Marge, no wife of mine will ever have to work, is what men used to say for some insane reason.
Homer gives Marge his blessing immediately. Homer, the true feminist. Marge is having trouble getting people to host the Tupperware party where she'll sell it, and when she told this to her hairstylist, he said he'll host the party for her. Marge is having trouble believing in herself, and she says she can't do it.
You need to tap into your female warrior side.
I don't have one of those.
Her friend tells her she needs to create one, and he gives her a makeover.
It changes my whole body. And what is going on back there?
She looks, well, nothing like the Marge we know. The guys Julio invited realized that this is a sales pitch, and they want to go, but then Marge came out.
Oh, you should have told us this was a drag Tupperware party.
He's the most convincing woman I've ever seen.
Maybe Julio went a bit overboard with that makeup. Marge sold a lot of Tupperware that night, but she didn't know that the men thought she was a man also. Julio didn't want to lie to her, so he told her the truth.
This is so important, I'm gonna drop the accent. Everyone thought you were a drag queen.
That's one way to soften the blow. Marge says that next time she's gonna be herself, but Julio tells her that that was her, but with confidence.
The top Tupperware sellers, they're all drag queens.
What? That can't be true.
Apparently it is. To help Marge with her business, Julio took her to Springfield's hottest drag club, and it really helped with her confidence. Marge ran into Helen Lovejoy at the store, and Helen made a snarky comment about her selling Tupperware.
Why are you so bitter? Is it because your husband would rather play with his toy train than with you?
Did Marge grow a backbone? Marge didn't tell Homer what she was doing, and he found out from Lenny and Carl. He went to one of her parties and realized exactly what she was doing. He stormed in and accused Marge of not telling him that she's tricking all these people into thinking she's a drag queen, when
you're really a regular housewife in need of empowerment?
Homer says that when he said it out loud, it didn't seem so bad. No, it doesn't, Homer. Now does it? Homer tried to apologize to Marge, but she didn't want to hear it because he destroyed her moment of confidence. But Homer thought of a plan that would make Marge forgive him. Meanwhile, Marge goes to the drag club to admit to everyone that she's a fraud. But they kind of figured. I mean, it doesn't take a genius.
All made me feel understood, and therefore made me realize how selfish Homer is.
Marge said that she doesn't think there's anything he can say or do that will make her come back.
Oh, well then I went through a lot of work for nothing.
Oh, now that's my new wallpaper for sure. Marge sees how much trouble Homer has gone through to get her to forgive him, and she does.
Having a man dressed like a woman to win back his woman who pretended to be a man.
Julio said that it was truly romantic. But besides butchering Marge's character, writers also had a few slips with Lisa. Lisa got a restraining order on Bart and abused her power over him. On a Clear Day, I Can't See My Sister opens with Bart and Lisa going on a field trip, and Bart is constantly poking fun at her and embarrassing her in front of their peers. But the last straw was when he put a radio in Lisa's backpack and made farting noises.
The only gas is coming from Lisa's butt.
People, please!
Very mature, Bart. They start fighting, and Bart hits Lisa with a snowball, and she falls into the lake.
Check it out! That frog has a nerd on its butt!
Why is no one rushing to get her warm? I mean, they are at a glacier. On the way home, Lisa tells Bart that he's gone too far.
What are you gonna do? Tell Mom and Dad? They're powerless figureheads.
It's sad that that's how he sees them. The next day, Bart is awoken with the words of Chief Wiggum.
Bart Simpson, this is a restraining order.
No piece of paper keeps me from wailing on my sister.
Sure about that, Bart? Homer makes Lisa a pole so she always knows if Bart's 20 feet away from her.
Homer, why did you put the screwdriver at the end?
Show you what it's like in the real world.
Oh, I bet Homer's enjoying this. But Lisa went a bit overboard with her poking stick, and she began bullying Bart and going to places he went just so she could kick him out and poke him.
I'm afraid your arm has sustained extensive nerve damage. The only cure is this anti-poking potion.
Now that's brutal. Marge saw how much pain Bart was in, and they went to court to see if the judge would lift the restraining order. But Bart made a snarky comment to the judge, and instead of lifting it, she...
From now on, the restraining order is set at 200 feet.
Well, I guess Bart will be sleeping outside from now on. Bart spent the night sleeping outside in a tent, but even though he was scared, the next morning, he realized he liked being outside.
Why should I go inside? The world is my toilet now.
That's what I call reconnecting with nature. Marge talks to Lisa about reconsidering the whole restraining order thing, but Lisa tells her that every time she thinks about forgiving him, she remembers all the bad things he's done.
He's done good things for you, too.
Name 3.
That's gonna be hard. Marge managed to name 2 things, but she couldn't think of a third to save her life.
If I think of another one, I'll let him back in.
Lisa was convinced that Bart was never gonna do another nice thing for her, but then she saw him building her statue.
I mean, it's a little American primitive, but who am I to dismiss outsider art?
She runs outside, and Bart starts backing away from her.
Look in your heart. I'm begging you. Look in your heart.
The poor guy is traumatized. Lisa told him she saw how much he missed her, and she missed him too.
Yo, Bart, we're ready to torch the Wicker Witch of the West. Jimbo, the real one's here.
Oh, so it wasn't like a loving tribute. Bart tries to get out of it by saying that the fire represents her musical ability.
Oh, Bart, I missed your lies.
Lisa takes the torch and burns her statue and sticking pole along with the restraining order. But this is not the only time Lisa's moral compass malfunctioned. Lisa cheats on a test and she can't get over the guilt eating at her. Lisa gets an A starts with Lisa having to stay home because she got sick. And since Marge wanted her to relax and not stress herself out over school, she gave her Bart's video game. At first, she didn't like the game, but she quickly got addicted. Ralph came over to give Lisa her homework, but instead of reading the book, Lisa continued playing her game.
Ready to go back to school?
I don't know. I mean, I could risk it, but...
Such a little liar. Lisa tried to extend her sick days, but Marge saw through her and made her go to school. Mrs. Hoover asked Lisa if she got her homework assignment, and she said she did, so...
I won't need to excuse you from the test.
Oh, test?
That video game isn't looking so good now. Lisa asked Mrs. Hoover to go freshen up, and she ran into Bart. She tells him about the test, and he leads her into the boys' bathroom.
Teacher and subject?
Miss Hoover, Wind in the Willows.
Do they really not change the tests? Lisa told them she didn't want to cheat, but then she saw Willie cleaning the toilets, and she changed her mind.
Don't be so modest, Lisa. You earned that A+++.
Oh, the guilt must be eating at her. Lisa feels really bad for what she did, and Bart tries to make her see that it's not such a bad thing. At school, she gets called into the principal's office, and Skinner tells her that her good grade brought the entire school's GPA up to the state's minimum standard, so they'll be getting a lot of money.
Stop it! I cheated! Cheated!
You don't have to announce it to the whole school. Skinner tells her that while he is disappointed, they should keep that info on the down low because they need the money. Lisa doesn't think they deserve it since she didn't get that grade honestly, so she decides to tell Superintendent Chalmers what she did. But he's a realistic man, so he shows her all the good things that can be done for the school with that money.
Will you keep our little secret for the good of your classmates and your school?
Well, she can't say no to that. That'd be cold. The school holds a big ceremony for Lisa, and a man from the state comes to give the big check. Lisa's called to hold a speech, but she just couldn't keep the secret anymore.
We don't deserve this grant, and I don't deserve your applause. I cheated on that test.
Everyone starts booing her, but the man steps in and says they can't condemn her because it's not like they never cheated.
On your wives or your husbands. What she just did took courage.
I don't think that's really the same. He says that the school should keep the grant and that Lisa did the right thing.
You got the highest grade in the class.
But Mom...
The highest grade.
Lisa, let your mom be in denial. But as Lisa was leaving the room, the man took his mask off, and it turned out it was Otto.
Oh, good old predictable Lisa. I knew her conscience was a ticking time bomb.
Honestly smart on their part. Why would that money go to waste because of a girl's conscience? Back at home, Lisa turned her A into an F.
That's one grade I truly earned.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and don't forget to let me know your least favorite character plotline in the comments below.